What's the deal, ladies and gents? It's your boy back with another video, and today we're gonna get into the first installment of a series I'd like to call I Got the Hook Up. Holla if you hear me. I'm gonna be basically breaking down different types of rap, chorus, and hook structures, and giving you guys the jewels so you can implement it into your workflow. Before I get into the video, I need y'all to like the video, and most importantly, I need you guys to like the video, comment how you feeling, good or bad, and subscribe if you ain't already subscribed, but I know y'all subscribed though, right? Now, the first hook I'm going to be talking about is the repetitive hook. A repetitive hook is basically a hook where one idea is repeating throughout the duration of the chorus section. And the examples I'm going to be using is Drip Too Hard by Lil Baby and Gunna, Suge by Dababy, and Lil Baby by Young Thug. Whole bunch of baby shit going on. The reason why I picked these is because they are three very different repetition hooks, but they all have the same tools in them. And number one is your syllables. Your syllables are very important because we're doing repetition, right? So the repetition comes from each line has to have a similar amount of syllables. Suge has the same amount of syllables in each line. Now, Lil Baby by Young Thug, it hovers around the 8 to 9 syllable range in each line, but they're all hovering around one average number of syllables, and that's what keeps them repetitive and keeps them locked in. And Drip Too Hard, it has the same syllables in each line, so you want to have the same syllables. If your repetitive hook is not sounding right, go back and make sure that each line has a similar amount of syllables. With this repetition, you need variation, because like I said, you can't have repetition without variation. You're going to risk boring your listeners. So what is the variation? In each one of these songs, they have momentum in the lyrics. A best way that I could put it is if your first line is about heartbreak, the second line should be about how your heart broke in a million pieces, and then the next line should be about what happened to the pieces, and then the next line should be about the aftermath. Momentum, it needs to have forward motion in the lyrics. That's going to create the variation. Let's add some more catchiness. You need to add a hook part to it that's going to really hook the listener. What I mean by you need to add a hook, in each one of these lines that's repeating, you need to have some type of excitement in it, whether that be an ad lib or that be a leap, a melodic leap where you start singing a word, or where you stretch a word out, or where you add a space. It needs to have some type of excitement in it. And Suge, it's the yeah yeah at the end of each line, and Drip Too Hard, it's the and then Lil Baby by Young Thug, it's the high pitched background vocal that's repeating the end of each line. A good place to find somewhere where you can add this hook or this catchy part is towards the end of the line. If there's a little space, you can repeat the last word, or you could just add emphasis on a word that lands on a snare. Whatever, you just have to inject some form of excitement into it, because if not, it's just going to sound like a regular flow from a verse. Another thing about this is on those snares and on those drum parts, you do not need to have what I call irrelevant words like the and, so's, buts, regular words like that. You need to have better words like adjectives, nouns, verbs. You motherfucker. You need to have those words, and that's gonna just increase your music by 25%, I guarantee you. Not even just in your hooks, in your verses too. If you're getting to your hooks and they're not sounding as tight as you wanted them to, it's probably because you're not having the right words land on the right accents. So a good thing is, so if you got a snare going and you got like a but or words that don't have any meaning to it, try to switch it up, and I guarantee you it's gonna sound better. When you're creating these hooks, if you make one and it's not sounding tight, just remember, I need to go back, make sure all of my syllables are correct. If it's sounding stale, okay, are my lines, do they have momentum to them, or is each line not building off the last one? Make sure each line is building off the last one. And another thing, make sure that you're putting good words on the drum parts because it's going to hit harder and it's going to add a sense of tightness to your hook. And another thing is you want to add a hooky part, a part that's going to grab the listener, whether it be a leap, it be an ad lib, whatever it can, to add some variation and excitement to the repetition. This is going to help you exponentially in your hook writing capabilities by just using this. And if, one more thing, guys, if you got some like a word that sound like it doesn't fit or you're trying to stretch it, man, take the damn word out, because you're going to sacrifice a good hook or a song because you're being lazy and you don't want to find a better way to put this. So don't get married to one word or one line that you really like. If it's going to mess up the whole thing, find a different way to say it, man. And that's pretty much it. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.